about to get started. Hey everybody, I'm Chris Beatties, editor of Grower Talks magazine, and I have come to Manitowoc, Wisconsin, just below Green Bay, to find out where they make these, the ubiquitous and beautiful Dram rain wand. I'm at the world headquarters of Dram here in Manitowoc, where we're going to meet up with Kurt Becker, and he promised to give us a tour of the entire facility, so let's check it out. Oh, and in case you wondered if we're at the right place, water breakers as doorknobs. We're at the right place. Well, there's the man himself, Kurt Becker. You look like you're expecting me.
I knew you were coming.
Am I at the right place to find out where you make these beautiful things?
We can show you how we make them and a lot more.
In every color of the rainbow.
Exactly.
You're going to give us a full factory tour.
Glad to have you.
And I hear there's a surprise for me at the end.
We'll see.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Let me introduce you to Hans Dram. He's the president and CEO of the company.
Hans Dram, from the last name, Dram, I would expect you've got something to do around this place.
I do. Thank you for coming.
My pleasure. So tell me a little bit about Dram. Everybody knows Dram water products. You've been around for a long time. You're in every garden center and greenhouse, I think, on the planet. Give me a little nutshell history.
Well, as best I can in a nutshell, my grandfather was a florist here in Manitowoc, Wisconsin. We would buy from different growers, like anybody at that time, but also would discuss their challenges and problems. And one of those problems was with some rose growers that they couldn't control the water flow the way they wanted to, their water management. And
a basic water problem. Every grower on the planet's had it at one time or another.
Yep. It did some tinkering and came up with our 400 aluminum water breaker.
That's the original water breaker. We call it the cornerstone of the company, and that's basically where it all began. And now you're in, well, how many countries, you think, and with how many different product lines? I mean, we see a massive retail display behind us.
We've got our retail product lines, which is a very large part of the company. We do commercially still. We still service all of those greenhouses that we started out with. We are in commercial agriculture now as a fertilizer supplier as well. We're using basically waste fish products.
And even Dram water. With
and
water
now we're
purification,
doing water treatment, again, to those same greenhouses, yeah.
So a lot of things.
Same growers.
But one of the things you guys are best known for, I think, are those colorful water wands. Certainly gardeners know that, and
right.
I've got about a half dozen around my house. Maybe that's a starting point out there. We could go take a look where those come from and go from there.
Yeah, why don't we go downstairs and take a look at the factory.
All right, let's do it.
All right. We were just looking at a bunch of retail product upstairs. Dram actually got to start really as a commercial company. From the watering tools and everything else, we still do all of that. Commercial is still a big part of our business. We do hand watering, obviously, and a lot of those tools make it into the retail arena. But we do a lot of irrigation for commercial greenhouses to water their plants
drip
more
tubes
automatically.
And things like that. I've seen a lot of, which, well, we're looking at some right here.
Exactly. So here's just a stack of drippers. This is more for a hanging basket, so you've got a slim weight, a pressure compensating end that's going to regulate the flow in here. So each one of these is going to
plugs into your main tube line, a 1/2 inch or 3/4 line.
Exactly.
Yep.
We've got a little diaphragm in here that's going to regulate the flow at 1/2 gallon per hour. So every single one of these will get the same amount of water no matter where they are on the line.
And these are being custom assembled right in this area, huh?
We're assembling these here. We're cutting tube. We are Another big part of the commercial part of our business is chemical application, spray equipment. We make a whole bunch of different machines, 30, 40 machines that are all for the greenhouse chemical application industry, trying to apply pesticides, insecticides to the plants that we're growing.
Don't think I've ever been in a commercial greenhouse where I didn't see a Dram sprayer of some form.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. We got a lot of stuff out there. We try and provide a wide array of different types of equipment.
Yeah, I see a bunch stacked up back over there, ready to go.
Well, we do everything from hydraulic spraying to ultra low volume, and we want to make sure that we're covering any end of chemical application in the greenhouse industry. We don't want to just have one style of piece of equipment. One of the things we find, if you're a nail manufacturer, or if you're a hammer manufacturer, everything looks like a nail. If all we did was sold hydraulic sprayers, that's all we would be promoting to people. But there's better ways to do things, and we want to have each piece of those, from drenching of chemicals. This machine here actually is made just to water. This is a battery-operated water system that, say, an interior scaper will use to water plants in an office complex or a shopping mall, something like that. But then we go up to bigger hydraulic sprayers, like you said. Okay, so a big part of what we do at Dram is we produce the wands, as well as all the different watering tools that go on them. So you need something to be able to reach into the plant.
Mm-hmm. Well, we saw the wands. They're beautiful.
Exactly. We've
colorful.
Got all those bright colors. We also sell these commercially. I mean, initially this was a commercial product. the plain aluminum was the way to go. Probably about 15, 16, 17 years ago, we started adding color. And the idea of the color was to give some choice to the consumer, make it a little more attractive, make it more fun than just a straight utilitarian tool like this.
Well, everybody loves the color, but this is the way the tubing comes in. We see these massive bundles here.
It used to come in 12-foot lengths. We work with our supplier to actually put them into bundles and cut them. They actually do a better job cutting it. It takes us a whole lot less time than us doing it here.
So that's the length ready to go for these?
These are straight.
36 inches or whatever.
So exactly. So yeah. So we need to put a bend on these.
All right. Yep.
What's going to happen after this state is they'll put them into a rack like this. They'll cut the plastic off and they spill out. These then are wheeled over to this machine right here, the bender. And you see the tubing just gets placed into the machine. 2 at a time. She's got a button, she fires it off.
What could be simpler?
And you can see the way they're racked in the box. Basically, they just flip both sides. So you get the bend this way, the next run will all go that way. And you'll recognize this box is then the same box we send these off for the colored product. We send them off to be anodized with this coloring. It's this, unlike a paint, this is an actual protective process for the aluminum. So it actually, in addition to making it pretty, adds a little bit of durability to the product.
It's even beyond baked on. That color is really not going anywhere.
You put this into a bath with the colorant. The pores of the aluminum are open. The color is actually basically drawn into the aluminum, and then we can actually put a clear coat over this for some product.
And they're beautiful. Lots of every color of the rainbow.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. We got all these different colors. So they come back to us in this state.
What happens next?
Well, now we got to start putting ends on them. So right here, we've got a machine that's actually going to put the different ends on the machine, on the wand. So we've got the female end. First, she's going to slip a grip on there. Label goes on, shutoff goes on, and then we go to the other end of the wand where we put the male end on.
And who's this doing the work for us?
Tom's one of our guys who's been working for us for a while. We had one of the things that we've got that's pretty unique about our company is that our average tenure is over 20 years at this point.
How long you been here, Tom?
I've actually just been a little over a year.
Yeah,
he's one of the young uns. Oh, one of the young uns. Well, you got to stick on for at least 20 then, apparently. All right. So what else?
So he's handing them off over here after they've had the male end inserted, and then we've got a device here that's going to help roll the water breaker on.
Now, what are those clips she's putting on there?
This is actually a retaining piece for a new rack we've got for a little bit less expensive rack design. It's a much cheaper design. It's meant, basically this comes ready to go. So the store takes the top off and it's ready for sale.
All right, now she's putting the end on here.
So the machine just threads that on, saves a little bit on the wrist.
Beautiful. And how many of these is she going to do like that a day, do you think?
We just did 110 displays in what, Tom? 3 days? 2.5?
110 of those displays. Going out.
It ends up looking like this here.
Yeah, 24 pieces on each display.
Going out to a retailer near you.
Yes, exactly.
So, Kurt, how many different countries do you send these fine Dram products out to? We're in a small little town in northeastern Wisconsin, but you cover the globe with these colorful water products.
We do. The products are sold throughout Europe. We have a very good relationship with a lot of Australian companies. We're selling into Asia. We're selling into
you mentioned South Africa,
Canada,
Chile.
Is another company. Yeah, South Africa, South America. So over 30, 40 countries are selling our product. We can sell our products there.
A lot of the products are made here or assembled here. Some of them come from offshore, from Asia. How do you assure a consumer or a commercial grower that the product they're getting is going to be of Dram quality, durable, last a lifetime, hopefully?
What we do is we design the product, we test the product, we make sure that it fits to our spec. For the consumer product, that stuff is all lifetime guaranteed. So we can put that guarantee on there, but we really don't want it back either. So we want to make sure that it is very good quality. It's tested very rigorously. All of our product, like I said, is designed. We are constantly making improvements if we find fault, and if there's a problem, we replace it.
So how do you test this stuff? A lot of watering?
Well, hand watering. We test it in the field, but we also have a bunch of equipment that we use to trial stuff out too.
Oh, look, can we see that?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that'd be cool. Kurt, this kind of reminds me of like a Warner Brothers cartoon factory. It's got a nice rhythm to it. You can almost hear that music in the background.
We've actually
you know?
thought about making like a drum backbeat for this thing, just recording it and using it as a sampling setup.
You could dance to it, but really that's not the purpose here. What is going on here?
Well, valves are a very important part of what we're doing every day with watering. So we want to make sure that they're going to hold up. All of our valves, in fact, our valves as well as our competitors' valves are tested. We want to make sure we get a baseline for how well they work, how well they're going to last, how long they're going to be able to seal, how long they're going to continue operating before they fail.
How many cycles might you run a product through here?
We put them through hundreds of thousands of cycles typically, but each one of them has a baseline. Some can make it that way, that number of cycles, some can't.
Yeah.
And so, we have less expensive product and we have more durable product. And so we offer both of those to our customers. The less expensive cup doesn't last as well as the more durable.
So speaking of durable, what the heck's going on back here with this noisy contraption?
Well, one thing that most greenhouses will relate to is that growers aren't always, people hand watering aren't always the most careful with the tools.
You're maybe implying they're sometimes angry as well.
This is a testing machine that we use to test the durability of the water breaker to impact on the ground. And one of the things that's a major issue with customers is that they'll say their stuff's getting beaten up. Well, we've developed this tool, this machine. It provides about 7 to 8 pounds of force. So this is equal to somebody dropping the wand repeatedly from a height after they're done watering.
That is one angry waterer right there. But he's just saying he's dropping it.
Yeah, he's been doing
not
it
hitting
for 7 to 8 hours in the greenhouse. He's tired of it. He drops that wand.
But you said you actually learned something and changed the design of your breakers because of it.
Exactly. So if you'll notice, all of our more expensive products, although the 1000 series, the ones with the stainless steel disc, the 750s, they're more expensive because the disc is more expensive for us to make. Making that hole is pretty hard. So this piece costs more to the grower. To make it last longer, we started off with just a vinyl dipped ring around the end. That vinyl dipped ring added some durability to the piece where it basically would dampen a blow, but it added maybe a little bit of durability. When we put things like that on this tester, we moved from that vinyl piece to a rubber molded piece.
Try to provide a little more shock resistance.
Exactly. So this machine is testing without any protection. The water breaker will last maybe 5-6 hits before you'll get damage to the disc, damage to the plastic. When we put the vinyl on there, it would last 10, 20, 30 hits on average. Our rubber, one that we put on, would make it 50, 60. It was a little bit better. This piece that we've recently added actually has an injection molded piece and rubber as well.
So there's two pieces going on here.
Exactly. It's actually molded together. The rubber is actually molded over the plastic piece that's injection molded. But what that does is now when it takes a hit, the force transfers around instead of just dampening the hit. This is making it hundreds of hits before it fails.
Wow, so there's a lot of engineering and testing that goes on. Just something simple like that.
Well, we want to make sure that this piece lasts for the grower. In fact, we've even got a survey on our website where we're asking growers if they'd pay more for the regular 400 if we put this rubber bumper on there.
Yeah, so you're seeing what will happen there. Now this is really a water breaker is what got Dram started, right?
It is. 1941, I think, is our official date now, was the invention of the 400 AL water breaker by John Dram.
And you're still cranking those out by hand in this other room. Can we check that out?
We can, yeah.
All right, let's do that.
So you're familiar with the 400 AL, which is really the founding of our company. About 70-some years ago, Kurt Dram's father, John Dram, started with the 400 AL, which is what most growers are very familiar with.
This is the big hunky aluminum water breaker.
Aluminum piece.
Gorgeous.
So this is still handmade here, pretty much the same way. There's been some improvements to the process, but they're still handmade here. They come in from a sand caster like this, so a lot chunkier. There's a lot of aluminum that we got to remove from that. But this has about 10 days to process before it's too hard for us to machine. So we get these things in quantity, and then these guys go to town and start making them.
So I'm handmade by Todd's hands here.
Todd's one of the guys. Yeah.
On this beautiful vintage Warner and Swayze lathe. I love it. So you said,
how'd you like to make one yourself?
I get to turn one of these amazing.
You can turn one and take it home. You can have your own handmade Chris Beatty's. I'm not sure that I want to sell that to somebody else.
I could try it on my own garden.
Exactly.
Let's do it. I'd be honored to try it out.
Okay,
You're going to show me how to do it, Todd?
Sure.
All right. You sure you want to risk the machinery here?
Not worried about the machine. No.
All right. Do I need a pair of gloves?
Long time.
Do I need a pair of gloves? No gloves for us here. Keep my sleeves out. Okay, we're going to chuck it up. You guys ready over there?
Oh, I've been rolling the whole time.
All right, we're going to chuck it up, get her centered in there, and then we're going to lock it down good and tight. That seems pretty tight. You laid that right there?
Sure.
All right, we've got this in the right spot.
It's in the first one already.
Right, she's ready to go.
Yep.
All right, we're going to get the good speed. All right, and you said this one's going to go up and it'll stop automatically. That was it.
Yep.
Come back, it changes.
Yep.
Now this is the one where I've got to pull this up, right?
I'll bring it up close.
Get it close. Activate our screw drive mechanism. Did I get it? Oh, there we go, we got it. Look at me doing this. This is great. All right. Back her out. She's going to kick around here and watch her turn there. All right. Now this is going to go in all the way, not a problem. No, get a little extra there. Make sure she's all the way to the bottom. Skip this next one. And okay, I'll bring it back. Skips. Okay. Now we're actually going to put our put this little guy in. Oh, yeah, that helps. All right, I've got the smooth side out. Oh yeah, we got to get those chips out of there. Here's our little. There we go. Has anybody else ever done this?
It's a little hot.
Or am I the first?
Without training?
All right. No, I'm not going to turn it on. I'm going to bring this and touch it up to it. All right, touch it to it so it's not going to fall out. Ready?
2 clicks.
There we go. Just press it in. Little leverage.
Yep.
That's it?
Yep.
All right, back her out.
Yep.
All right.
Bring that tool.
This one's going to come up. We go in
Bring it
all the way down. There we go.
It'll go by itself.
It's going by itself. This is so cool. Oh, watch the chips. But I've got the safety goggles on, just as they advise. All right, back it off a half turn. Pull her back. And that's it. Now, some hand work. The file. All right, and you were just touching that edge out there, yeah?
Hang on to it like this. And then just filing off the front of it.
All right. Just smooth in the front. The top edge. Maybe the inside edge. Yeah. What do you think? Think it's good? Oh.
You need to go more. Put down
All right. This is where the years of training come in. Lest you think somebody can come in here in 2 minutes and do this job. He's got a little more pressure in there. I didn't want to gouge it all out. But now the steel wool.
Yep, the front of it.
All right.
And then underneath.
All right. And I could get a good, yeah, I could get a good polish here too, yeah? Really shine it up nice, practically like chrome. I have done some woodworking with a lathe, so. All right, so what do we think?
Turn it on.
De-chuckify it. That's the technical term. Pull it out. Hot. All right, you're the expert there, Todd. What do you think?
Oh, that'll work.
Well, of course, you did the fine work. Kurt, what do you think? Am I hired?
Looks good. Need to speed up a little bit, maybe.
Hey, it's an honor to get to do this. Todd, thanks so much for the lesson. And Kurt, well, short of getting this like engraved with the name and the date and everything else on it, I can't think of any cooler souvenir to leave Dram with. So
Pretty
thanks.
good one. It'll go with the race ones that you have.
I've got a bunch of his water wands in my office, but thanks so much. Actually, we should shop around and see what I could attach this to so I don't leave with just a breaker. Can we go back and do that?
Valves and wands. And
Oh, let's go find some of that
All
cool
right,
stuff.
sounds
All
good.
right.